Hey, everybody, welcome back to the Nader Narrative on Jersey First TV. Well, unless you're living under a rock, you're well aware in New Jersey of the drone sightings, the mysterious drones that have been all over our state and have spread now to other states as well. But I would definitely say New Jersey owns this issue. What is going on? We've been waiting for answers and they're not coming. We've got a bunch of different theories, but we're going to do something interesting today. We're going to bring you the OG, the guy who saw this first, who reported it first, and he just happens to be a good friend of Jersey First. And here he is, Florham Park Mayor Mark Taylor. Mark, you are the OG when it comes to the drone issue. That's amazing.
Well, thank you, Elizabeth. Thank you for having me on here to talk about this phenomenon, as they call it now. This all began back on November 18th. As you may recall, I kind of didn't want people to think that I was wearing that tinfoil hat, so I didn't know what to do with the information. But I called the local radio station and Bill Spadia and asked him if he'd heard about the drones over Florham Park and other areas. Now, of course, if you don't know Florham Park, we are settled in the area where Morristown Airport is, excuse me. And and that is a very protected area airspace wise.
Yes.
We do have two drones in the borough of Florham Park, both in the police department and the zoning department, and we have to get special permission to go up over 200 feet with those drones from the airport. These were flying certainly above that height, and they were the first time I saw them was on November the 18th around 9:30 p.m. I then called our friends at the airport and said, "Hey, what's going on here?" And with that, I heard a helicopter come flying through our backyard, hover for a few moments, and then took off, I think, going after these drones. But
wow.
But since that time, Elizabeth, as you know, this has just been the pinball back and forth from Washington to officials here in New Jersey, all the way up to December 11th. The governor was supposed to have a meeting with elected officials, mayors particularly, and obviously the colonel of the state police, Callahan, and the governor didn't show to the meeting. I was going to be out of town, so I did not schedule myself to be there. But, we have two representatives from Congress who are both running for governor here in this state.
Yes.
Congresswoman Mikey Sherrill, who 2 weeks after the election flipped and said she's running for governor. And then you have also Josh Gottheimer, who is congressman up in Bergen County, who is running for governor as well. Not a lot of information out of these folks.
Nope. It's disappointing. And I mean, you put a lot in there. We've got to unpack some of this because you've been on Fox News. You found yourself on CNN, apparently. One of the reasons why is you've been outspoken. But if we go back to November 18th, and again, a lot of people even listening to this may not realize how long ago, really, it has been in the scheme of things, a month that we've been seeing this. You were the first one to see it in an interesting location. And by the way, I remember the text, I think, that you sent out to Bill Spady, and I believe I was copied on it. And there might have been an eye roll or maybe a tinfoil hat emoji, if that exists. And it was like, what are you talking about, Mark?
Yes.
You saw them. Now, what's interesting is I don't live far from you. And what's in between where you live and I live is the Morristown Airport, an airport that the president uses and has used heavily when he was serving as 45, and I assume will do so again as 47 when he would come in to New Jersey. Often they would shut down that road, full well about that. So it is an interesting sort of secure area. I also saw them several weeks later hovering low around that area. So, Mark, the first thing as a mayor, of course, you should have answers and you would think you would have an in, so to speak, with people. So when you reached out initially, who did you reach out to and what was their response?
My first contact was the Morristown Airport management team. My second contact was of course, Joe Orlando, my police chief. And then I contacted the best sheriff in our county, James Gannon. And all of them were a little bit taken back at the time. So, I continued on listening to and hearing what was going on throughout the state. And then all of a sudden, about a week later, it became this national story that everyone was talking about. Mm-hmm. And clearly you could go out in the evening where your home is or with my home is. Yeah. In the interim of that is the airport and see these drones nightly.
Nightly. That's right.
Where are they coming from? What is their purpose? And we've heard nothing from the White House other than they're not a threat.
Well, okay, so clearly we don't have answers, and saying they're not a threat hasn't made anyone feel better. You
No.
were included not only in that meeting that the governor didn't bother to attend, but you were also part of a White House meeting. I'll call it that. It was a national meeting. Were you on that call as well? And what were you told?
I was on that call. I was told not to reveal what was discussed on that. I'm going to keep that as a commonplace. That I do respect
Yeah.
what they were trying to say, albeit not much came out of that. And you
Mm,
know that speculation leads to people just assuming things.
right.
You hear about nuclear issues at the
Right.
port in Newark. You hear about these coming out of the ocean from a ship that has come in from Iran. I mean, those stories, I believe, have all been debunked, including the nuclear one, which didn't happen until December the 3rd, is my understanding.
Correct.
However, these started back in November on the 18th. So
Yes.
where were the people before this?
Well, that's where the nuclear one loses a little bit of its potential as a story, unless, and I will tell you this, I had an off the record conversation with a nuclear physicist who used to be at the Navy who reached out on purpose to let me know that the material that they may be looking for is in fact missing. It's medical. And it is something that if you held in your hands would make you sick, but to sniff for it, the drones would have to go pretty low. I did share with him when I saw them, they were pretty low. When you saw them, they were pretty low. But as you point out, that material went missing on December 3rd. He did indicate to me that does not mean that there isn't bigger material that's been missing longer than that. And that opportunity on December 3rd presented itself as an explanation. I don't think we can close. I'm not trying to incite fear, but I don't think we can close the nuclear option completely. Do you think there's any potential that something nefarious is going on with that?
Again, I can't speculate on this. All that I can say, it is an anomaly. It has people upset, or has had people upset. I think the times that they're flying has diminished, certainly.
Yeah.
But I think that just the absence of information causes people to worry, and the fear factor comes in. I don't think we need that in this time, both the political time that we're in, the economic time that we're in, and certainly we're in the holiday season. People don't need more angst in their
Yeah,
life,
that is true.
for
That
sure.
is true. As a government official, I think this is an important question. There is a balance that exists between full disclosure to the public, national security, certain military issues. There's been a lot of discussion over the past few years, even in the realm of UFOs or aliens. What does the government know? What don't they know? We make a lot of jokes about all of that, but to be serious about you as a government official, is there a line, and what is that line between what's really going on, what the public needs to know, and what they can't let them know? Is that line moving now with the advent of social media? As a government official, how do you look at that?
Well, certainly the social media aspect has brought a whole new characteristic to this, I would say, because you have people on there with their story, they're guessing, and getting many, many views and going quite public. You know that 21 mayors in Morris County put together a letter to the governor asking for more information, more information, more information. We have not received any back. But that being said, whether or not they know what this is, I believe they would have to know.
Yeah.
Whether they're disclosing it is the problem, or the issue at hand. Our residents need to know what's going on, for sure.
Or what has gone on. I mean,
Right.
perhaps this issue is closing for New Jersey. I don't know. I think it would make a lot of people feel better if, in fact, these were our drones, and we can say this is our military, and it's some sort of exercise. I just think that for whatever reason, there's a level of disclosure they're not willing to give, and I think some of the government are in denial about the reality of the world we live in, where information is at our fingertips. And we've got the nuclear explanation. We've got, like you said, the Iranian scenario, or really China, could be anybody, right? We've got the Chinese balloon that went over the country. Anything is possible. It seems like all of those in some ways may have more plausible explanations than just simply some people operating a bunch of fun drones that they've tried to say. Even Biden, somebody went up and other people wanted to go up with them. That seems the least plausible to me. What do you think about that?
I think these are way too big in scope and size to
Mm.
be anything that's a person or a private individual. When the FBI puts out their tips.fbi.gov website for people to send leads of this issue, that tells me that either the government officials are not working harmoniously together to tell one class of the government what's going on with the other, or they are just guessing by golly.
Yeah, and I think that could be part of it. Although your original story from November 18th, I just want to clarify, was there a helicopter involved
There,
chasing these drones?
I don't know if it was chasing it, but it certainly had eyes on. It was reported later from Marstown Tower that there were two of those Army helicopters that were in sent in route of our area on that particular evening. That
That's
one was very close to my backyard in an adjacent field where these drones are quite prevalent. I mean, they
yeah.
were coming through there at a rapid rate that particular evening, for sure.
Yeah, I can understand based on what I saw a couple weeks later. I'm hearing today that the FAA has restricted airspace now in certain locations. I don't know if you heard that.
I
Um,
did. I did.
okay,
Nothing like closing the barn door after the
a
horses
month
got out.
later.
Yeah.
A month later.
Yes.
I'll tell you what, Mayor, it's some wild times. We don't have any more answers. I do appreciate the fact that you've been leading this. I promise never to roll my eyes at you again when you tell us something crazy is going on. But it was just really a revelation, I think, for all of us that perhaps our government doesn't know everything. Perhaps they aren't completely in charge of everything. At some point, that's something you just have to, you can't do anything with it, right? You just have to trust and hope
Correct.
that perhaps a new administration coming in will be in a stronger position. I do think, and I wonder if you agree with this, if you have what I believe to be 4 years of a weak military, a weakened military, a weakened maybe intelligence force, weakened agencies, and focused on the wrong things, at some point there's a result, right? There could be a result where we see an incursion maybe, or just an inability to do their job correctly. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised at that. And hopefully that changes January 20th.
Well, that's the crux of the matter. January 20th, you see all these world leaders reaching out to Donald Trump, our 47th president. Thank the Lord. They're
Yeah.
reaching out to him because they know that the power will be restored in the United States, and that we will then move forward as a country rather than, I think we've been the victim of a lot of laughs throughout the
Yeah.
world.
Yeah.
So I really am, concentrating on that day, and I've been counting them down ever since November the 5th happened. So
Yeah.
that was a definite win for the team, and
Yeah.
now we have to push that win into progress.
It was a
And
win for the people of this country. It was a definitely we the people election, which is exciting. And our enemies are going to be hard at work. They always are. So we pray that our country has the ability to do the right thing. I also pray that January 20th is a safe day. It doesn't, surprise any of us to understand that many, many important people will be in one location, and pray that this is not related somehow. But Mayor, are you expecting, as we wrap up, are you expecting more conversations with the White House or the FBI or with the governor? Who's owning this right now?
well, I surely hope that we have more definitive information. I would, reaching out to all of the mayors in Morris County, the 21 that I know of that have signed on to these letters to the governor. I thank all of them for their diligence. We are public servants. We are here to protect and serve our residents and to do the right thing for our towns,
Yeah.
and all of these mayors together. We're a fighting force. We're fighting on other fronts as well, but this is the soup de jour, as they say. That we've got this issue on our hands, and we need to make sure that we can calm the public and that we can make some progress on what really is going on.
Absolutely. And thank you for what you do. You know, you're my favorite mayor. I just got to say that again. Sorry to the rest of them. There's a number 2, there's number 3, there's number 4. But I mean, you are the OG. You own the drone issue. You go down in history as that guy. Let's hope we can still laugh about it. Let's hope that it's nothing more serious. Someday we will find out. But thank you for being on the forefront of it. And, you know, when we have good mayors, we have strong towns, then we have stronger counties, we have stronger states, and then we actually have a country we can be proud of. And we're heading into that golden age. So thank you for everything you do.
Thank you for everything that you do as well. Thank you for having me on. And our long time friendship is very good. I appreciate it.
Well, I appreciate it. You're famous now. You eventually made it to Jersey First TV. So, I mean, hey, add it to the list of the drone sightings, right? CNN, and then Fox, and then now us.
Well,
Thank you.
we're on CBS as well,
Oh,
and
yes.
I just did a broadcast in Vermont yesterday, which was very cool.
Okay.
So on the drones.
Well, remember us when, Mayor, when you were less known nationwide.
No.
We really appreciate it. And to our listeners, guys, you got to keep reporting these things. I don't know if we're done. I don't know what's going on. FBI line is still open. You got to keep reporting it. No matter how they make fun of us and tell us that these are manned aircraft, we know better, that we're not seeing what we're seeing. We know what we're seeing. So keep reporting. And if something happens, Mayor, we'll have you back.
Just remember those numbers, 1-800-CALL-FBI or tips.fbi.gov are the two outlets to which you can get some information to if you do have it. Call your local sheriff if that's your case. And also, of course, my police chief is always here for people who need help.
Florham Park Police Chief, one of the best. All right, Mayor, thank you so much. We will talk to you soon. To my audience, guys, we'll see you next week.
Thank you.